All right, thanks for joining me again. Got this set up here. Hope that it holds out till I get done. Like I said, we're gonna do graphite pencil and maybe some of that graphite powder. I didn't plan anything, so we're gonna start out and see what comes out of it. What I did was marked a 1-inch border all the way around and then taped it. As I said yesterday, if you buy tape to do this, buy drafting tape. That's not what this is. So, do what I suggest, not what I'm saying. Not what I did. I mean, yeah, this tape is not. This is not good. When I peel it, hopefully it don't, but I think it's going to peel the paper. It's too strong. So use draftsman's tape, and then you can mask your drawings, and when you pull it off, it won't rip it up. And you want to make sure you do that, because if you're doing a drawing that you want to keep, or it's for someone else, you need to make sure you use the right tape, because it just about make you cry. You work on something for a long period of time, it comes out right, and then you ruin it because you bought the wrong tape. Yeah, draftsman's tape is good for this. All right, let's see. I didn't plan anything, so we're just going to start in. What I'm using right here is a number 7 mechanical pencil. You can use any kind of pencil you want. Like a number 3, it will make the lighter lines. Well, it depends on the lead in it, but a smaller line is a number 3. But number 7 is fine, or just a regular number 2 pencil. Just sharpen it. And since we're doing graphite, it doesn't much matter. Really doesn't. You can use any kind of pencil. What I would suggest for an eraser is a gummy eraser, which I don't currently have, but they're the best. You can go buy a gummy eraser, a little square eraser. You can squeeze it up. It's the best eraser there is, and you can shape it into points and things to get to small areas. Now, this right here, if you're doing real fine lines and you want to erase something, this is mainly for drafting, but you can use it for drawing also. You want to protect a line, protect your drawing and erase certain spots of it. You just lay this over and you erase in those areas, and that way it keeps you from destroying the rest of your drawing. This is an erasing shield. They're really handy I use them for drafting, but when you're drafting, you definitely need one of these. But another good thing to have, is a piece of sandpaper, or one of these. You can buy one of these if you want, or you can use a piece of rough sandpaper. Works just as well. It's exactly the same thing. And this will sharpen. You don't need it for this, but to sharpen your leads on or put a flat edge on your number 2 pencil leads, or whatever pencil you're using. Just use one of these, like I said, or a piece of rough sandpaper. I'm not sure what grit this is, but it's rough. Just get a rough grit sandpaper, and it'll help you. Now, for get you a mechanical pencil sharpener, if you can, a good one. I mean, an electric one. But outside of that, this looks cheap, but this is a metal This is a metal pencil sharpener. It's for art. And these things work great. They're small. They work great. Yeah, grab you a good pencil sharpener. You can sharpen it with a knife also, or X-Acto knife. That's fine. And then you'll probably have to use the sandpaper to get the edge the way you want. But yeah, we'll see what we come up with. We're just starting out, and we're gonna see what we come up with. Thought about doing a Christmas thing, since I like, I'm from the Midwest, but I lived in the West most of my life. I like mountains and trees and things like that. So let's just, since we kind of been drawing some crazy stuff for our watercolor, let's just draw some woods and a cabin. Let's do that. All we're doing is seeing, mainly we're going to see how that graphite powder helps us out or doesn't on this. So let's see, here we go. We just start anywhere. Sometimes I start with the trees or a cabin. Let's see. Let's just cabin. Maybe it's, and you just, like, it's like anything else, like we were saying, just put it on there. Just start, just put it on there, and then you can adjust later. I don't know, I've always liked cabins, and never wound up living where I wanted to, but for a long period of time, because military ruins that for you. But let's just get a cabin, and let's put us a fireplace. Let's see, and a stone fireplace, because yeah, like I said, we can put this on there, and this here's a lot more forgiving and easier to fix than watercolor, because the graphite we can simply erase it if we need to, but we're going to try not to do that. I took a short class. Well, I spent one semester at Methodist University. I had an outstanding professor. She was in the art department. She didn't want you using an eraser, which made sense after a while. Maybe I should have made this. For what I was going to do, I might have made, it's all right. Might have made my house smaller, but that's all right. We're going to put our little log roof supports on our front porch, right? Yeah, we're going to make snow on this. We'll make some snow on this here. So this is going to be a winter in the mountains, I guess. Icicles off the roof. I suppose this is a log cabin, I reckon. So we'll try to, I may have to fix these logs. That ain't exactly right. I may have to fix these logs. I like a little small. When I make my house, I like a little small house. Nothing crazy, but you can make it as big as you want. cabin. Like I say, you don't want to, just like anything else that we were doing, you don't want to stay in one place. Just keep moving. Keep moving. You notice I didn't stick my cabin right in the center. It's off center a little bit. Let's see. A little bit of snow. I don't know. This is kind of like a Christmas card. Christmas card. We're just going to go for it. A little Christmas card winter scene, right? You can go back and fix it later. We got these big, like in Colorado, we got these big old fir trees. Big old fir trees. Hold that snow on the top, and then got plenty of them around the house, right? Because they build your cabin in the middle of these fir trees. Just loosely lay your stuff up there. You can fix it later. You can change it if you need to. You're just trying to establish some kind of scene here that we want. Got some door back in there. Back on the back porch a little bit. No, we got snow coming off of everything. Off this roof's got icicles. Say we're just putting it up there. We're just putting it up there. Yeah, see, icicles hanging off the roof. They're not. You see icicles, you know they're not uniform. They're not straight. Very little in nature is straight. So if you make a line, it doesn't look, it doesn't look quite right to you. That's fine. Nature, it's not straight. Plus, also this cabin, I mean, somebody made it, right? So it's not manufactured by a company or anything. So it's not straight. And things like that look more interesting, That's why I never did like all this computer generated stuff. Human beings make, you can't replace a human being. Humans make the most interesting things. Will never be. I think after people get tired of this AI stuff, I think things like, the drawings that we're doing, or, like the things that humans make will be in demand. They'll be in demand because people were simply tired. Simply tired. Okay, we're just trying to create a scene here. All right. Now this is a big, either a pine tree or probably a pine tree. This is a big old pine tree that's on the left here. Got rocks. Of course, there's snow on them, but snow-covered rocks. rocks, maybe. Big old pine tree, right? So we're gonna big old ponderosa. Ponderosa. I'm not a tree expert, but I know the difference. Like these ponderosa pines, they have that big circular looking bark in them, whereas the pines in North Carolina here are smaller. They have smaller bark. So what we're just faking our bark right now. So because it's pencil, it's very forgiving. Very, very forgiving. We can. This is the first time I'm trying this camera at this angle. I'm hoping you can see. I don't have a bunch of expensive rig here, so I can't. I'll go back and review it after I make it, but I'm hoping you can see. This is a poor man's art. Poor man's art class, or art, whatever it is. Yeah, we're just making random things in our old pine tree here. Yeah, tree roots. We got tree roots. We got rocks. Snow. And like I said, contrast. We're just putting stuff on there right now. And let's see. We don't have to have all the trees up close. We could have a meadow back there, sort of, maybe. So let's go back. We'll put some trees way back here. We're creating this, right? These trees are further back. Yeah, see, even me, I'm making these trees too uniform looking. They're not. Be leaning, one of them will be leaning, or maybe a dead one over there. There always is, right? Dead trees. Let's see. Yeah. I don't know. That's a dead tree right there. Dead tree. There'll be maybe some fallen trees out here in the snow. All right. Maybe even further away. A tree line. Further back. Who knows what the countryside looks like there. Right. Who knows? And if it's further away, of course, it don't need to be defined. So yeah, we got some trees right back here, a little further back, snowing. We got snow drifts. Right, it's kind of a Christmassy looking thing. We got a tree line back there. It's kind of dark and right, and then we got. Let's see. Let's put a mountain. Let's put a ridge back here. a ridge, a mountain ridge going up. Let's see, way back there, further back. Not way, maybe not way back there, but it's further back. Let's put a ridge back there. All right, so let's see, trees maybe, I don't know, little bed. Some dead ones back there, and that dead ones back there. Let's see what we got. So now let's just start moving around a little bit. Let's start moving around a little bit. What do we got here? This is a 2. This is a number 2. Actually, a number 2. Number 2 pencil. 2. So a 2B. These are perfect. I mean, they're dark. A 2B. So let's just move it around. Start putting some little shadows in places. 2B. That's a good one. Now we haven't smudged the canvas, rubbed. I mean the picture, rubbed anything in. We didn't really. That's another thing, that lady at Methodist, she did not like that, which is good. I actually learned from that because I taught myself how to draw, and that's what I used to do all the time. I would on my drawings as a kid, I would take my finger and rub that stuff in. She did not like that. She said you should put it on there. Try not to use an eraser, and don't put shade in there by rubbing it in with your finger. She was adamant about that. I don't know, some, and it did work on a lot of the drawings I did there, but I only went there one semester, and because I couldn't, the Army wouldn't pay for the rest of it, and I went there to learn painting, and that first semester was drawing, and I pretty much I knew that already. I had taught myself, so pretty much everything in that first semester about drawing I already knew. I'm not bragging. I'm just saying I did, because I was already I was already an old man. I was already about old, so. Let's see. We're just going to use this in different places. A little bit dark here. Now, you see where my hand is here on this paper. What you want to do, and I didn't do it yet, but I'm going to do it right now, is get you a piece. Get you a piece of paper to rest your hand on, so that you're not smearing that that graphite all over your drawing. You want to, if you're doing a drawing for somebody, you want it to be clean. When I used to be a draftsman, and there were no computers when I learned it. So I learned it all on the board. And the one of the things, the big things, is that when you turned in your plans to somebody, is that they be clean and neat. That was a sign of whether you were any good or not. You'd be surprised what people would turn in, when they're getting paid for something, and they turn in a drawing, and it's dirty looking, and it's unprofessional. So I try to do that with even though I don't draw for other people normally, but for myself, it really bugs me to see a dirty drawing, a dirty paper. It's just a sign of you not caring, actually, and that's the way it was in architectural design back in my day. That's a sign that if you turn in some sample drawings looking for a job like that, you're not going to get hired, because they're doing drawings for clients and they expect them to be clean. If you do your artwork like that, one, your drawings will last you, and they reflect that you care about what you're doing. See, these are farther back. This is farther back, so we get a little shade in there. So we're just putting shade in places. Yeah, fallen tree right there. Farther back. See? Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate you folks stopping in, spending some time with me. I'll try to keep this low time here. Let's see. Yeah, little cabin in the trees. If you've ever been in a snowy, in the mountains where there's lots of fir tree, it's beautiful for one, but you want to make your drawing look like that. Sometimes if it's real heavy snow, you can't hardly, and you're standing in the middle of the woods, you can't hardly delineate shapes. All it is a lot of times it's contrasting. The shades. The shades under the leaves and the white snow. But like I said, we're just putting it on there. You can just put it on there, and you might come up with something different than you started to do. It just depends. It's like this tree here is not looking quite like I wanted it to. It's not. It is not. But I can go back and fix it. So this is back there, like I said, back there in those. This is further back and further back. A stand of trees way further back there. So they don't need to be. They don't need to be clearly defined. They need to be actually probably less than what I got. So I may take an eraser to them. They don't need to be defined. A lot of what you might see is that some dark shade in between the tree trunks back there, and then the rest of it not that defined. It's further back, right? Can you tell? And then you got terrain in between. You got hills. I mean, it's whatever you put in it, but if we're doing it like this, we got terrain in between. Now back here, you got this ridge line. This ridge line is definitely not going to be defined, right? It's definitely not going to be defined. So lightly, we can just start this. We can just start this way, so that we can kind of tell what's what. All right. And there may be some other, obviously, there may be some other hills right there. In our case, there is. We're just going to put them in. Those trees on there, those trees growing on that hill. It's closer than that ridge line back there. Right? So we're just putting it on there. Now these trees are closer up. So they're a little more defined. They're closer up. These are closer up, these trees right here. Now myself, no disrespect to my art teacher, but but just for now, we're just doing this right here. Just kind of defining that a little bit, just a little bit. And we'll go back. I ain't gonna hurt anything. All right. So, okay, we got a little snow hill right behind the house. We got some smoke coming out of the chimney. We don't need to make big plumes of smoke, just a couple of lines, which is fine. It gives you an idea. Now, what we'll do after a while, we're going to use that. Well, I don't know if we're going to get to it today. Maybe tomorrow. See what time we got. Yeah, probably tomorrow. But tomorrow we use that. We use that powdered graphite, and we're going to put that in spots. We're going to see what that does for us, and it'll be handy. It should be handy on the ridge lines, and maybe see the ridge line back there, right? Goes on down. So you tape your borders like that, and I wish I did, I didn't have good tape, so I use this tape. Hopefully it don't rip this all to pieces when I take it off. But even if it tears up the edges, you'll still be able to see the effect. And I'm sure you know what I'm talking about anyway, but sometimes you don't realize how much it helps to put borders on there like that. Now we're up here in this kind of snow. We're in the mountains of Wyoming. This is the kind of snow up there. I lived in Colorado for 16 years. I was never home. I was in the Army, but I love the mountains, and especially being up in the snow. Now, right now, what we're doing is just putting in some shade here and there. Nothing crazy, but just putting in some shade here and there to help identify forms, that's all. All right. Just to help identify forms. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Let's put us a place here where you chop wood, right? Gotta have a place where you chop wood. We'll put an axe in there. You come out here and cut some wood. Use a big old round stump. Very handy if you ever cut wood. A little piece of the wood over there, some laying in the snow. All right. Like I say, you just create whatever you want. Whatever you feel like. Okay, here we go. Now when you're drawing of course you can create things by adding to or taking away from. What I mean is you can create a piece of art just from erasing. You could have a totally black canvas and just create a piece of art using white paint or on it, just filling in the negative spaces, or like an example of a negative space is this right here underneath that limb. You see that shadow right there? Just created it there, that limb above it. And this one. See that? That's negative space. You see, it's creating the illusion of a limb right there. It's not really there, but as you can see, you can create an entire drawing like that, and it'll look good. Not only that, it'll look good, and like pencil lead like this, and cross hatching reproduces really well on a copy machine, because it's a pixelized type of thing, and that's what computers or copy machines, it's what they see is pixels. So that a cross hatching or a dot picture made with nothing but dots is some of the best to reproduce, because on a copy machine, because the machine can understand it, can see it clearly, and it's much better. You get much better copies than you would if it had just lines. Okay, so we're we're going to have to go darker back there in the background to make this look right. And that's okay. Well, all we're doing right now is, like I said, we're moving around. We're just moving around and keeping moving, and try not to finish. Try not to get stuck on one spot. It works the same in drawing as it does in painting. You stay too long in one spot, you get bogged down, and then you wind up creating a mess. Something that you got to fix later. Rocks, I mean, just create whatever you want. It's a rock. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter. Rock that you might have seen somewhere. And drawing's just like anything else. You don't have to cover everything. Actually, this, I think I've went overboard. I should have left. I in hindsight, I don't think I would have put that ridge line back there, but I'm not going to try to. I'm not going to try to erase it. I'm going to put some footprints out here. Somebody out there chopping wood. Went back in the house. He's going back in the house. See, it's all right. It's our thing. That's what we're doing. It's all right. That's all right. We'll make some rocks. That's okay. You can even make us a big rock down here in the front. That's all right. We'll put some snow on top of it in a minute. That's all right. That's all right. See. Let's see here. See, this is just a 2B that we've been using. The shadows and the amount of pressure you put on it, of course, increases darkens the tone. Do it lightly, the tone's going to be light. And I'm going to put some contour lines in our posts on the front of the house, just to make them. They're round, made out of trees, right? So they're round. You can see that. Can you see that? Put those contour lines up there. Yeah. You can do that on the side also, on the logs, but I don't want to go too crazy with it. Now I have shaded in our window, which I didn't want to do. It's okay. We're gonna take a cheap eraser right here. we need our darn gummy eraser. That's the thing with the gummy. You can squeeze it where it'll fit in there. You can squeeze it where it'll fit in small places, and they're good quality erasers. They really are. Yeah, let's see. This is kind of undefined right here, isn't it? So this ain't gotta be rocket science. Ain't gotta be exact for people to realize, hey, that's a log cabin. You know. Yeah, see, here I am almost putting my hand on that, and you can wind up smearing that lead all over the place if you do that. Like I said, we can fix things. So we're going to put some of that dark shade up under that roof right there where those icicles are. It's dark. Help. Oops, let me not drop that. Helps define. That would be good thing about drawing. You can draw the places you would like to be. You can create your own. You can create your own world. So you can use other things to define. Instead of making a hard line, you can use the shadows to define the shapes. That's a shadow from the tree, but it's helping define that roof. And there's a hill back there, so we're going to put some shade behind that to help define the house. If you've ever seen a stone fireplace, these stones they're different tones too. You know, you get lighter colored stones and darker colored stones. All right, so some of those shadows are dark, you know. So, but not all. You don't want to go crazy with it. You just put it here and there for a while, because you're still trying to decide what it is you're doing, you know. These Christmas tree looking things, because this is kind of a Christmas drawing, right? Kind of a Christmas drawing. Right, so we don't have to define everything, but you know, that's a tree stand back, that stand of trees, not a tree stand. See, we can, with shadows, we can create the illusion of distance also. See, the stand of trees right here, if we want to try to show that they're in front of those back there, you can do that with some shadows. You don't want exact shadows either. You don't want shadows shaped like a tree. See these back there. You still see the shade between the trees, and you don't want them all vertical either, like fence posts, because trees don't grow like that, like fence posts. Let's see, there's the occasional dead tree. So that's further out. That's further out there. This here kind of bugs me, so we're gonna take away a little bit of that. We're gonna take away a little bit of that shade. Yeah. We're gonna take away a little bit of that shade. If we had a gummy eraser, it'd be much better. But Take away a little bit of that. Okay. All right, so okay, so you can get a look at that, and that's we're gonna have to stop there for today because I already ran longer than I was going to. But we'll come back to it tomorrow, and we'll continue to work on it until we get it looking the way that we want. Alrighty. All right. Well, I appreciate you coming to hang out with me, and we're going to check in with you tomorrow. You have a good day.